We have bush beans growing in the herb bed. Pretty little dwarf irises. Raised kitchen garden beds. Lots of competition going on the trellis. They're called Johnny Jump Ups, but they look like grumpy old men. Blueberries. Refreshed blackberries. Then this section is still pretty messy. We do have common milkweed growing up. Came with the house. Just have to move it, but look at that. It's in the cracks of between the sidewalk and the house, the cement foundation. So I'm not going to get those out. But these other ones I probably can move. Just have to decide where I want them. Probably the other side of the house. And then we also have strawberries growing. This is where the strawberry bed was before we moved it to the other part over by the orchard. So what I've been doing is digging up one strawberry plant at a time, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them at a time, and then moving them as ground cover over to that bed there and to that bed there for ground cover. And actually I could put some over in the orchard too for ground cover. Make more like a food forest. And then also in the front where I've been putting all the sunflowers. I started putting them out there too. I figure if somebody's hungry and they need to eat, they can help themselves out front. I'm probably going to grow more pumpkins out there again this year because they really like to fill in the space. I think I do need a couple more shrubs to put behind the evergreens. But anyway, that's what I'm doing with these leftover strawberries, these volunteer strawberries. I mean, they have flowers, which you can't see now because it's a little chilly, but yeah, there's some right there. They have flowers. They're starting to get berries. They're growing in terrible soil because all of this has that white rock underneath there. It was all the white rock, a little bit of soil underneath, and I think they laid black under there too. So my husband has the idea of making this more of a sidewalk, like of wood. He wants to take this concrete up and then make a walkway and or a small platform where we could enjoy the outside in the shade because it's very shady here in the evening. So I'm all about rescuing these plants. So I'll just keep moving them, and I'm hoping that they're gonna outperform eventually and smother out this dumb creeping Charlie. I hate creeping Charlie. It's terrible. So I did put down wood chips before the open house, and this is fresh wood chips. And I tried to smother them out, but it's not working as well as I hoped. But look at this. Just moving them. I mean, I did not do much. I moved them, I pressed them down in the soil, covered them with mulch, and then watered them in. And they're still happy. So I'm kind of glad about that. That is what we're doing with that. These are Josh's arches beds. Tomatillo with flowers. Watermelon. Strawberry beds. Grapevines. The cut garden is coming along. My new dahlias are popping out of the ground. And this one's giving blooms every day. Cut plants growing. That's the smallest one. Here's our says candy stripe cosmos. So see how short they are? They're only like a foot tall. I don't really like them short, but that's okay. And snapdragons, some more snapdragons, some calendula. Got some basil in here for leaves. Right there. Hello, little boy. Another cut plant. And some zinnias. And some asters. Hibiscus are still sleeping. They take a long time. Some more basil for leaves. And I got some pretty sunflowers. Oh. Hibiscus. I see. Look at you. You're not really technically part of the cut flower garden, but you are hosting these beautiful other things. sunflowers. These were transplants. I did not grow them from seed yet because I think all the critters will eat them. Those are asters. Bigger cup plant. Looking forward to that growing in. Oh, hibiscus. Another one's waking up. And some straw flowers. And a Cosmo in the back. And little boy. And some more sunflowers. And then I have room in the back for more sunflowers. Hello, little boy. I know you're excited. And that is how that part of the cut garden is going. Cut flower garden. And you see that the 2-foot fencing, it's almost invisible. You can only really see the posts, especially from far away. But the chickens, these chickens do not try to jump over it, which is good. If I let them in, they'll come in. But otherwise, they kind of stay out. So does the dog. But of course, the cat does not. Asparagus. Here's a whole bunch of cherries on the Carmine Jewel cherry bush. It had a lot of flowers this year, so now they're forming and they're up high enough the chickens aren't going to eat all of them. They probably will get to these. They'll jump and get them. Because they'll be in beak height or jumping height, and they'll turn red and they'll be really attracted to them. But looks like we might get to eat some of these that are up high. Pretty cool. I'm excited. There's 3 of these bushes, so I wonder how many cherries we'll get off of there. I don't know. We'll find out. It's looking like we'll have some more pears this year, which is exciting. I think I have to thin these, but I'm not sure how to do it. I will look that up this week. Make sure we don't overload the tree so we get good fruits. It's exciting. And then the peach tree, oh my goodness. There is so much fruit on all of these branches, and I know I can't keep all of them. So there's probably, gosh, there's 4 here, 4 there, 2 or 3 there, probably 7 along that branch. And then they're all peeking underneath all these leaves too. And every branch has a lot of fruit. So what I thought I heard is that you're supposed to prune them so you only have 3 or 4 per branch, because if you have too much fruit, 1, they're going to be too small. 2, when they grow bigger, if they're too close together, they're going to squish into each other and cause decay. 3, they won't get as big. 4, it's going to take energy from the tree. And 5, I don't know if I said that the branches might break because they're too heavy. So it's pretty exciting. I don't know how it'll turn out, but we'll see. We shall see. And yeah, we'll see. All right, now Steve, you're gonna be in trouble. I love peaches. You should not be up in the peach tree, mister. I know I made it a nice open bowl for you, a little vase shape, but you really shouldn't be in there. I know you love it. So what I did when I planted the trees is they're fruit trees. There's a couple cherries, no, a couple apples, 1 cherry, 1 pear, 1 peach, and I'm planting it as a fruit guild. So what I do is I put herbs around it. So I have lavender, I have some sage, and I have actually got some milkweed too. And then I'll add more flowers to draw good bugs in, to eat bad bugs if there are any bad bugs. There's some flowers in the back, more milkweed. But trees don't like to be alone, so they like company. And they call it a fruit guild. So you plant like ground covers and you plant herbs and different things underneath them. I've got some comfrey down here too. Yeah, I just put comfrey down there, that little guy down there. And they're supposed to grow better that way too. So we shall see how it goes. Frost cover tent for the tomatoes. Here's where our corn block is this year. A lot of weeds right now. All right, and then in this bed, in the back here is garlic that I planted in the fall. And then these are all onions that I have planted several times when the chickens decided to tear them up. So those are all growing pretty well now. They're getting their roots and they're growing their leaves. We've got rescued pansies up here that I'd like to give away or plug in places. And greens like spinaches and lettuces that came up. And like when I see like over here, oops. See that little lettuce? That came from last year. I didn't put it there. So I should be able to pull it up though and then add it over to the greens area on its own. It's cool enough. There's enough rain that I shed as well. And then in between these onions on the insides, I planted carrots, which are coming up, which I have to thin. I'm not positive on how to do that yet, but I will learn it. And my thought with the carrots between the onions is I'm hoping that the butterflies are not going to be able to sniff out or snuff out the, snuff out, I don't know. Suss out, that's what I was looking for. They're not going to be able to suss out the carrots in between the onions, and then we have a better chance of actually getting the carrots. Now, when the carrot tops are all growing and the carrots are doing their thing inside the ground, I don't care if they come in. I might capture butterflies and release them, like bring them inside, feed them carrot tops and dill and fennel, and then release them. And then over here, we've got pretty much the same thing on the outside. Here's all the onions. These are Walla Wallas. So they're the big white ones. They're supposed to be really large from like Washington State kind of onions. And then we have the same thing here. More onions with carrots. I don't know how they'll do. And in the back I've got some kale. And then in the middle is growing some Brussels sprouts and broccoli. Broccoli. Shout out to my kids when they were little. And in the back are some more straw flower. It's supposed to be a really nice cut flower. Underneath the straw flower is actually some more lettuces. The cat's going crazy. And in the back are more pansies. So that's how this bed is doing. In the middle, I have got, I put in seeds for, let's see, from front to back, I can't read all of them, but cucumbers, Malabar spinach, which grows like a vine and you can eat the leaves like spinach, and then Amish melon for most of the back part there. And then over here, we have some kind of Market More cucumber seeded, and then what else is in there? Oh, Otome watermelon, a Japanese watermelon. It's small, and I think it's a yellow. No, it's just small. It's not yellow. It's just small. And a couple other things, but I can't remember what I planted back there, and the label's way in there. I'm not going to go in there right now, but so that's what's going on in those beds. So they're doing pretty well. And I put them closer to the house and closer to the water source because they really could use water a lot more often. Greens underneath the shade, the arches, because as they grow up on the trellises, they're going to shade the greens and keep them from bolting and have them last a little bit longer, which is good. So the rule of thumb generally is if you're growing it for the leaves or the roots, they don't need as much sun as if you're growing them for the flowers or the fruits. And then, yes, I have this very unattractive cardboard pathways, but it means less weeding and I'm not tripping on things, so that's fine. Then, all the rain we had has really helped these guys pop out that I just planted. Gosh, what? 4 days ago? A week ago? Not that long ago. Look at the irises. I'm very happy there. Very happy. And then I've got those bachelor buttons and the other pink, the other purple one, and they're floating, which I like. This magenta flower is doing well. One day, I'll know the names of all my flowers everywhere. Hey, that's dandelion over there. It's chicken food right there. Chicken food flower. There's a kitty flower. Hi, kitty flower. Yarrow. It's got a lot of grass in it, but you know, the leaves grow so close together that the grass like gets smothered out. Here's some dahlias. I got a bunch of those this morning. Cut a bunch of them off, made some bouquets. Those bright yellow sedum kind of flowers have flowers on themselves as well. I just think that's so cool. I don't know, something about it seems to be cool. And the butterfly bush is not dead. Look at, there's growth there. That makes me happy too. Very excited about that. Last but not least, this is my mostly volunteer garden. What I'm trying to do is plant only things that reseed. So, and put like branches and stuff of things that do reseed really well in here, so they'll grow on their own. Now I did plant sunflowers, Russian mammoth sunflowers, little babies in there, but there are some volunteer sunflowers coming up too, which is cool. I like that. So those are my Russian mammoths there. There's some volunteer milkweed. Obviously there's some more milkweed. Back behind the milkweed, back here, is either fennel or dill, or it could be more cosmos. And if it's cosmos, it's probably the orange and yellow ones, because they're like mutants. And here's a little bit here. Something fluffy. That looks like a fennel or a dill. Which is good, because the swallowtails love to lay their eggs on those. So the more the merrier. The flowers attract them in, and then they'll lay their eggs on the host plants. And so right now, yeah, it looks terrible. Again, it's got that really rough soil, rocky soil. And that's what I showed you guys before about the milkweed growing in the soil. It doesn't even care. It's like, yeah, bring it. And then volunteer, these are volunteer sunflowers. And they're now about, yeah, they're probably 6 inches high. 2 of them together. I probably got to cut one so the other one can grow better, but I'll see. And they're doing well. It's like a microclimate in here. Again, we got the north side blocked from the wind. Actually, it's blocked from the north wind, and it's blocked. It gets really hot over here in the daytime. And yeah, this one's going pretty well. I know it looks terrible. That's okay. I can see it from my window, and when I see butterflies and pollinators flying around in here, that'll be super cool. Especially when I look, actually I see this garden more out the living room window, so that'll be exciting. And that's about it, because it's almost sunset. Actually, it's past sunset. It's almost my bedtime. Good night. Well, I thought I was done, but I'm not. This is our corner. It's the I don't know. It's a corner on the west side of the backyard. Over there, it looks like there is some kale or mustard or something greens growing there. But I also tossed these alien squash in there. I don't know what they are. And look at this. Look at all those squash babies. They're squash babies, or they're watermelon babies, or something. But there's a lot of babies there. So maybe I can pot them. I can like dig them up and then distribute them in the garden somewhere. I'm not sure. Probably out front. We'll see what happens. One more thing I just noticed. See how there's a depression in the grass? So something is coming in and sleeping there at night. Oh boy, I wonder what it is. Oh boy, there's actually a pathway. That's not the chickens. Might be the cats, but they are usually in with us. Well, I don't know. But then there's also like fencing like right around that area, so it's just like a little nice little room for them to sleep. Okay, well, we'll find out. And a small bouquet I made this morning.